Today I want to talk to you about preparing yourself for the fast. Since our fast begins this Sunday, what should we be doing this week to prepare for the actual fast itself? Okay, spiritual preparation is vital to the right mindset of going into a fasting period. Take some time over the next few days to examine your heart and confess any unconfessed sin. Not just the obvious ones, but the sins of omission as well. Take time to think through areas in your life that you've been struggling. Maybe it's a relationship that you still harbor unforgiveness, or maybe it's pride or jealousy. All those things just store up spiritual and emotional junk in our soul space. In the book of Nehemiah, we read the story where Nehemiah took on the task of rebuilding a wall around the city. And as they were working on the wall, we read in chapter 4 that the people couldn't complete the work because of all the garbage sitting around. Nehemiah 4:10, it says this: "The strength of the laborers is giving out, and there is so much rubble that we cannot rebuild the wall." Part of preparing for our spiritual walls to be rebuilt, protecting our hearts and souls once again, is to clean out all the rubble that's in the way. What relationship do you keep tripping over as you try and move forward? What regret do you continually stumble on when you take a step? What do you constantly worry about? These are the things that clutter our souls and get in the way of hearing God's voice. So, before we fast, this is the time to identify those things, repent of those things, and get the clutter out of our souls. Doing this preps our spirit to hear and receive things from God through fasting. Although fasting is primarily a spiritual discipline, it begins in the physical realm. Don't start fasting without specific physical preparation. If you plan on fasting for several days, you'll find it helpful to begin by eating smaller meals before you abstain altogether. Resist the urge to have that last big feast before the fast, okay? Cutting down on your meals a few days before you begin the fast will signal your mind, stomach, and appetite that this food is acceptable. Even though our food fast begins Sunday, the fasting mindset begins now in the spiritual and physical. Some health professionals suggest eating only raw foods 2 days before starting a fast. I highly recommend at least weaning yourself off of caffeine and sugar products to ease your initial hunger or discomfort at the early stages of your fast. So let me summarize this phase of the prep process. Take time to confess those sins that are lurking in our souls, clean out the relational rubble that keeps tripping us up, start eating smaller meals, and finally, wean yourself off of caffeine and sugar. In following these simple steps, I believe that we'll begin the fast prepared and ready to draw closer to God and hear His guiding voice. Tomorrow, we're going to look at how to adjust our schedule for the 7 days of fasting ahead.